lasting memory on them, whether it's funny or not. It's something that I can always remember. Larry Harper taught me that the ladies out at Broadway Village Apartment Complex like Bain de Soleil suntan lotion. You didn't bring your wife, you didn't think it would. Bob Hammers couldn't be here. The very first act, I came up here 13 years ago last week. Very first day that I worked, I had to carry Bob Hammers out. He was already having trouble, with his back then, and that's eventually, what he was a Snow Award recipient and got a clerk job, which chaps the clerks to this day to find out that light duty for a carrier is clerk work. but Bob, and I hope he's doing all right. I talked to Gary Carter today, kind of at length about his dad. Gene is Gary and Dee have moved Gene into their house with him now. He's not been doing very well. A lot of problems with his blood pressure and stuff, but Gary had hoped that his dad would feel well enough to come out tonight and see everybody, but he didn't think it was going to be possible. Jim Robinson and Ivan Hall, these guys from Kirksville, were a hoot every time that I went up there. Mike went with me a couple of times, and if anybody misses the days when you had a 3-year-old that asked question upon question upon question, and sometimes the same question 20 times, take Mike for a ride for an hour and a half. Parker Jenkins. I'm sorry he's not here because I would have loved to make fun of him while he was standing here, but what I wanted to say was the guy is 6 feet 9 inches tall. And when he retired, he gave all of his uniforms, this is no joke, he gave all of his uniforms to his brother Billy. And even at 6 foot 9 inches tall, the shirts aren't long enough to cover Billy's belly or to cover the crack of his rear end. I told Billy, my God, they make shirts big enough for me. How come you can't get one big enough for you? Freddie Sheridan, the first time I went to find him to help him, he was sitting at, the little store that's in the basement? Lee Street store.
Juicy Burgers.
Eating a Juicy Burger. And I helped Freddie, and I think he gave me more of the route than he took himself. And we were still both done before noon that day. But I remember Freddie on September 11th when we were at work. He always wore his headset, and he steps out of his case and he says, "Somebody just crashed a plane into a World Trade Center." And and one of them things where you remember where you were, and it was Freddie telling us down at Tiger. Richard Wilson, I'm sorry he couldn't be here. If he'd have known they were having a free meal, I'm sure he would have. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. Roy Hartley is joining his retirement out in Portland. Kelly, you want to give us a hello from Roy?
No, I'm good. Hello there, hey.
John Williams, I love these guys. I got to be their U-man that's the job you get when you're a PTF into a regular carrier. Nobody ever wants to be a U-man. The last one that hung on until they retired doing that was Chuck. And he had, instead of one U-man complaining about 5 regulars, he had 5 regulars complaining about one. But yes, sir.
Chuck like being a U-man, that way you didn't ever have to put gas in the vehicle.
He never had to put gas in the vehicle. Yeah. Never had to pick up after himself on the route the next day. Sugar told me one time that he purposely left the vehicle empty. And Chuck put like $3 worth of gas in. Of course, back then, that was at least 3 or 4 gallons. And now it'd just be 1 gallon, but Chuck put that in, he showed Danny a thing or two about that. But, John Williams, I'm sorry that he's not here, a guy that wanted to keep on working to take care of his wife and his family and stuff, and I think that he would have probably worked until he was 80 if his heart would have left him. He's a lot of man in a little body, and he's a good friend, and make sure that everybody passes on their best wishes to him. I'm gonna leave Bobby to the end because he's my favorite. So, Mike, I was Smith's U-man for a little while, and my favorite story, it's not a story, it's the truth. Middle of July, comes in off his route at the end of the day, half his body, left side of him, soaking wet.
Hard work.
Soaking wet, just the left side of his body. Couldn't figure out what was going on. The next day, guy at the Salvation Army told me, he said, you know, Mike was sitting out there underneath that shade tree in the Jeep with the door open, and we turned the sprinkler on. Caught him in there and it soaked him clear to the bone on one side. He said the sprinkler went around about 6 times before he ever woke up. Earl wasn't never a big talker, but one of the things I learned about Earl from GB was that Earl don't like mustard on his sandwiches. I'm sorry about that, Earl. Bobby Hunt, I want 2 things about Bobby. I loved being his U-man. That was a great route out there around Hewlin Lake. People loved me out there. They didn't care much for Bobby. But Bobby had a way of taking a serious subject and making light of it. He was telling me that him and GB and I don't know, Danny and Chuck, maybe you all went, they all decided they were going to go and get their prostates checked. And so this is a true story. So they all go, all of them go at the same time. They come out and Bobby says that it worked out just fine for him because the doctor got finished and Bobby turned around and he said 2 for 1. He said the guy still had some of that jelly on his hand and I had chapped lips. But unless you've been around him for a long time, though a lot of people don't know this, that Bobby can sing like a bird. And the way he sang, one time he sang for me, I'll Be Home for Christmas, and I still get goosebumps and the hair stands up on my arm thinking about it. That's how good it was. And you got a lot of talent, brother. And I wish you still had your plans for Bobby's Scratch and Dent Roundup over there in All and we'll come over and buy a used car from you. Thanks for coming.
All right.